With the introduction of our Gauss thruster, we are continuing to alleviate the pain points of satellite production.
We're now just inside 4 minutes to launch, and everything that you're seeing here is about to become fully automated for the final countdown before liftoff. Electron's onboard computers will take control of the terminal count from T-minus 2 minutes and will begin to manage thousands of checks per second to make sure Electron is ready for launch. At that point in the countdown, both stages will also be fully fueled with liquid oxygen and kerosene. The propellant tanks are being kept at precise pressure and temperature before we reach liftoff, and you'll hear a couple of callouts from operators in mission control that relate to those checks as well. You'll also notice some venting from Electron while that countdown continues, which is completely normal up until the system is fully pressed for flight within a minute of liftoff.
Then from 20 seconds and counting, final checks are complete. The launch director will count down to launch from T-minus 10 seconds, and then at T-minus 2 seconds, Electron's engines will ignite right on time for liftoff at T0. We're going to raise the volume now on mission control and listen into all of that take place. Go Kakushin Rising, go JAXA, and go Electron.
Beacon, lock the auto sequence and confirm.
Locked.
Copy and confirm all flight computer ASGOs are green.
All flight computer ASGOs are green.
Copy, Beacon. We'll go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LDs go for launch.
Vehicle is fully on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
LOX load is complete. The system is in recirculation. Anti-geysering is disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beginning pitch over.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Liftoff confirmed, and Kakushin is rising with Electron from Launch Complex 1. We are on our way to orbit for JAXA, and pitchover has begun to place the launch vehicle on its correct trajectory south over Antarctica.
We're building up horizontal velocity now before Electron is expected to pass through max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure, sorry. We should hear a call out from mission control that we've cleared it momentarily.
Cleared max Q.
And there's the call out for max Q. Those 9 Rutherford engines have accelerated Electron past 2,200 kilometers an hour and more than 18 kilometers above Earth, now just a minute and 30 seconds after liftoff. Next up for the rocket will be main engine cutoff, otherwise known as MECO.
With Electron's boost through Earth's atmosphere almost complete, the first stage's role in this mission is wrapping up since the engines have chewed through most of their fuel supply. The Rutherford engines will soon shut down completely, which will allow the rocket's second stage to separate. With a bit of distance between them, the second stage's sole Rutherford engine will then ignite to carry on the mission's momentum to orbit. And those events occur as MECO, stage separation, and second stage engine startup, all of which we can expect to hear from our operators again soon in mission control.
"15 seconds to staging."
Enter it burnout detect mode.
MECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
Beautiful work. That is MECO, stage sep and second stage engine ignition as expected as Kakushin Rising continues on to orbit. And in just a few seconds, Electron's payload fairing will split and fall away in 2 halves. That will be the first time that Kakushin Rising will be exposed to space.
Fairing separation confirmed.
A nice clean payload fairing jettison there, and another Electron launch milestone complete. Electron's second stage is cruising along nicely at more than 8,700 kilometers an hour, now 125 kilometers above Earth on its way to its 540 kilometer circular orbit. We have a few minutes until our next event for Electron, which is battery hot swap maneuver that takes place for the Stage 2 Rutherford engine. That's scheduled to happen at approximately 6.5 minutes into this mission.
Electron's second stage engine burn continues nominally for Kakushin Rising, with this phase of the mission focused entirely on building orbital velocity before those satellites are released. Guidance systems are steering Electron with precision toward the mission's 540-kilometer target orbit. All right, our mission control operators are closely monitoring the vehicle's performance in the lead up to the second stage's battery hot swap event. So the Rutherford engine relies on batteries to drive its electric propellant pumps. But as the second stage burns through the original battery's power, it must transition to a fresh set of batteries mid-flight to keep the engine burning to full duration. And that's why the maneuver is called the battery hot swap, since it takes place right in the middle of that propulsion phase.
The old batteries will be jettisoned, which you should be able to see in real time on your screen. Just watch for the silver box to eject quickly, right at around the T plus 6 minute 33 second mark. Just a couple of seconds to go until that happens.
HVV discharge holding nominal, approaching a hot swap in roughly 30 seconds.
Throttling down.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Hot swap successful.
Stage 2 propulsion holding nominal.
Battery hot swap confirmed, and the second stage is powering on beautifully for JAXA and Kakushin Rising. We got another 2 minutes or so of Rutherford engine burn time to get us to the mission's transfer orbit, and at this point in the flight, Electron's second stage has completed almost all of its mission milestones.
The last remaining steps are second stage engine shutdown and then separation of the kick stage with its satellites, much like what was experienced for stage 1 and stage 2 separation. And we are less than 2 minutes away from the second stage's final actions.
HVV discharge holding nominal.
Electron is powering through 1,900 kilometers an hour and rising, passing through 204 kilometers in altitude on its way to JAXA's final orbital altitude of 540 kilometers. Before we get to that, though, the second stage will deliver the kick stage and its payload to what's called a transfer orbit. This is an intermediate elliptical trajectory that's used to move the spacecraft into its final circular one. It acts like a bridge, with the kick stage using its engine to expand that transfer path and enter the final orbit for the mission.
Okay, time is almost up now for Electron's second stage engine burn, and what will happen next is this. That Rutherford engine on your screen will be shut down by the rocket's flight computer, which will cause the nozzle to go from red hot to grey and cold. And within seconds of that shutdown, the kick stage will be separated from the second stage and released into its transfer orbit for the mission. Standing by now with Mission Control.
Seeker confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
There we go. That is SECO confirmed with the Rutherford engine shut down and the kick stage released from the second stage. Kakushin Rising is almost ready to be deployed to space to begin its mission. Once the kick stage completes its transfer orbit, it will ignite its engine to move out of that elliptical trajectory and into a circular one before the satellites are released.
Completing that elliptical path around Earth takes about 40 minutes or so, and so we'll be taking a break from the broadcast during that coast phase, but we will join you again live just before payload deployment of Kakushin Rising, which is scheduled to start at T plus 50 minutes into the mission. We'll see you back here then.